If you had to describe each of your children to a stranger, what would you say?
Each of my children to a stranger. It's pretty easy. All three of them athletic, but they all different. My oldest, I call him the ultimate dreamer. He had like 9 different ideas, and he stuck to every one of them. And believe it or not, he's been very successful at obtaining each and every goal he set so far. My middle child, she's the focused one of the group. She sets a goal, she's going to stick to it, and she's goal-oriented, and she's driven. The baby, or the youngest of the 3, he's the jokester. He's the easy going out of all of them. He's the easiest going person you want to know. But if he set his mind to anything that he want to do, he will accomplish it.
To a stranger, I would say that my 3 children are uniquely different, but yet the same. Uniquely different. All of them are very artsy. Sometimes I look and say, man, where'd they get that from? Very artsy. My oldest son, Charles Anthony Rowan, is very artsy, very bright. He is an author. Oh my goodness, an author of 3 poetry books, and I'm very proud of him. So I would describe to the stranger that I have an older son that strives to excel in everything that he does. He has ran into brick walls, not little bumps and obstacles, but he's run into brick walls, and it seems like he's able to shake it off. Takes a while sometimes, because we all have to shake it off, but he shakes it off and he continues to strive. He is an artist in music. Again, he's an author. He's a college graduate. And boy, just look out for that name, because you're going to hear it a lot. My middle child is another artsy person. Loves to sing, loves music, is striving to be a pediatrician, and just loves life. And my youngest child has had probably a very challenging time. He's currently 16 years old, but yet again, he is so bright, so bright. So I would describe him as saying that I always tell him, you're going to be my most successful child. And why do I say that? I'm not taking anything from my other 2 children, but that's what he needs to hear. And that's what it takes, because every day is a challenge for him right now, and he needs that motivation to hear me say, you're going to be my most successful child. So he's artsy also. So all of them are very artsy. They all love music, and they all have big hearts.
When Obama was elected in 2008.
Actually, when Obama was elected, I don't know. Like, everybody was like, they was overjoyed. Some people was ecstatic. For me, it was more a shock than anything. Because first of all, I never thought I'd even see a black president. And that's unique in itself. However, once he was elected, it took a day or 2 for it to really set in, and for me to really understand that we had a black president. But I was just proud. I was just proud, because I would never, when Martin Luther King gave the famous speech, yeah, I was born. But I wasn't conscious enough to really understand what he was saying at that time. But for me to experience Obama being born, it was just like, I guess, Martin Luther King for my parents and my grandparents, Obama is for us today. So,
what was your reaction when Obama became the president of the United States of America?
Boy, I'll never forget it. When Obama became president, it took me back to the stories that I used to listen to as a little girl. My mom and my dad and my siblings would always tell me about the difficulties they had and how they never ever thought, these are the stories I heard, that someone black would be president. So every time it was time to vote, my mom would say, "We're gonna vote. I don't care." She said, and we're gonna pray the next time someone black is gonna be on the ballot. But yet, every time we went to vote, I would go with my mom and sit there in that little chair and stools that they had for the kids. It was a ritual every time. There was never anyone black. So when Obama became president, oh my goodness, I don't know. It was hope. It was hope for our future. It was hope.
Best advice I've ever received. I guess it came from my grandmother. She always told me, just like my father and my mom, you put God first, take care of your family, and as long as you value both of them, the rest of life will fall in line, be a piece of cake. And that's pretty much true.
Do you have any advice for young black people who are struggling to stay positive in life? They just keep struggling. Any advice for the people who are struggling and just can't seem to find a way out?
You know what I truly, truly do, because I've been there, at times where it just seems dark and gloomy and there is no way out. Every time you try, here's another obstacle. Every time you set a goal, you can't seem to meet it. Do not give up. My best advice is do not give up. If you have to find someone to help you, a buddy or whatever it takes, do not give up. Our ancestors have fought for us to have better lives today, so we cannot give up. If you need help, reach out. Don't be too proud to get the help you need. When I talked about my education and my successes, trust me, I had a very difficult time. All kinds of obstacles, all kinds of challenges. When I took back in Hawaii, when I went back in 1999 and took the placement test, I scored so low on the math and English that I had to take 3 math classes, remedial math classes, before I got to college math. And those 3 classes did not count towards my graduation, but I did it. For English, I had to take 2 remedial classes before I got to college level English, but I did it because I just refused to give up. So I want you guys to sit down, pull out a piece of paper, write down what your goals are in life, and I want you to take baby steps, not leaps and bounds. Don't expect to have a doctorate degree in a day. It took me 10 years to get a doctorate degree, but yet I didn't stop. So that's my advice.
Do you have any advice for young black people who think that they're getting held back on succeeding? They think someone's holding them back. Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I got a lot of advice for them. Don't think it is somebody holding you back. The only person holding you back is yourself. Don't make excuses. Don't settle for less. Always try to obtain whatever it is you out to set to do. Yeah, the road gonna be challenging for you to get there. Maybe you have to go a different route about doing it, but you can't obtain it and you can't do it. But as long as you have it made up in your mind and you set that barrier that somebody's holding you back, somebody's denying you something, or you feel like they owe you something, then you're cheating yourself. So the only person stopping you at that time is you. No one else but you.
That's a tough question. I don't think anyone is held back in any country, especially not America, from reaching their goals. I think that it is challenging for young black people, absolutely. But I think that, you know what, I don't think I know, because I'm a living product of it. We lived in the city. I was raised in the city of St. Louis. We moved very often. I went to various schools, lived in various school districts. And if I could make it, anybody can make it. So no, I don't think we're held back. I think that as a people, as a race, that we must keep our eye on our goals. We must. I don't care if we need to talk to our grandparents, sit down, pull out a piece of paper, create a mission statement for yourself. What do you want to do? But you have to keep your eye on the prize and don't compare yourself. So yes, it is very difficult for black people in America because racism is alive. But that will not keep you from reaching your goals once you set your mind to it.
In the Marine Corps?
When you're in the Marine Corps.
That's a good one. Philippines, Australia, Korea, Thailand, Japan. Let's see here. Man, there were so many. It's crazy. I can't even name them all. I went so many places. Indonesia, Singapore. That's just a few. I couldn't name them all. It's just pretty much you think of it. I got a chance to go there. And I played all sports. I'm a sports fanatic. Anybody that knows me knows that. I don't care if it's baseball, football, softball, hopscotch, anything you want to do. I'm competitive, and I'm going to try to beat you at it. My favorite sport, however, is football.
Yes, sir. And why is it your favorite?
It's competitive. I'm a competitive person, you know. It's the team concept, yeah. But ultimately, when you out there, every man on that field has a job. And every man relying on you to do your job. And as long as you do your job, you're going to succeed, you'll win. If you don't, you want to do somebody else's job, you're going to have the team crumble. And most of all, it's aggressive, but it's a controlled rage. It's like, even when you're out there at full speed in contact, you still have to be under control.
How old were you guys when y'all got married?
To me?
Both of y'all, when y'all married each other, how old were you?
I was 20.
You were 20?
We were both 20.
How long have you been married?
That's an easy question, huh? 28 years.
How do you deal with difficult times in the marriage?
That's
Dad?
that's a good one. All times. I mean, they all different. It depends on circumstance and situation. But ultimately, you want to go about it the same way. You know, you just take time to yourself, think about it, get your thought process on it, share with your spouse, listen to their side, and hopefully you come to a agreeable conclusion. It don't always work that way, because sometimes you agree to disagree. However, ultimately, you will find medium. And other than that, just turn it over to God.
What is one of your fondest memories of these 28 years of marriage?
One of my fondest? Wow. I got a lot of them, so that's kind of hard to say your fondest.
Okay, one of your fondest.
Oh, man. That's kind of like picking your top 10. I don't know. Well, actually, I guess the day I got married, We got married kind of different. You know, everybody had a big traditional blown out wedding. Well, we didn't do it that way. We went out to the courthouse, had a couple of friends down, we got married, and as it evolved, we knew we loved each other, but it just continued to grow. And then we did like our 25th anniversary. I guess that should be about my fondest memory. Everything we didn't do then, we did then. So everybody was here. So to me, I think that's my fondest memory outside of the kids being born. So, yeah.
Wow.
Boy, I agree. I definitely agree with Pete. We had a lot of fond memories. I would have to say that was definitely one of my fondest memories, also our renewal. But another fondest memory that I want to talk about was when we used to walk on the beach in Carlsbad. You know, again, it kind of goes back to spending time together. We used to walk on the beach every night after we got off of work.
Return to my list.
In
Yeah.
in Carlsbad, and this was we had Charles, but we didn't have Keanu and Ernest yet. So, and we would just walk on the beach and just spend valuable time together, just the two of us, and watch the sunset. That was one of my fondest memories, along in addition to the renewal, because that was a big day for me. 25 years, and I finally had that wedding that I did always want. So.
Your favorite thing about your spouse?
Oh man.
Or one of your favorite things?
Okay, I have to say, boy, I have a lot of them. Number one is he is a supporter. He's very family oriented, and he's just a supporter. I don't care what we need, we have it. We were talking about that earlier today. I don't care what the kids needed through the years. He would make it happen. I don't care what I needed through the years. He would make it happen. And he puts himself last, something I'm still working on. He will not get himself a t-shirt.
That is funny.
Because he spends everything on us and wants to make sure that we're taken care of. So, you know, I have to say that him taking care of me and loving me, no matter what, through all of this, ups and downs that we've had through the years, he's always loved me, regardless. And I've always known that he's loved me. So that has been my fondest memory. And him being a dad, you know, he's been a good dad to our children, and I just thank him for that.
One of my favorite things about her, one, just look at her. Now, in all seriousness, one of my favorite things about her, she's just goal-oriented. She sets her mind on what she wants to do, and she accomplishes it. Most importantly, she's just loving. She's opposite. You know, like everybody say, the yin and the yang. Everything that might be like my shortfalls are like her strengths. So it kind of balances me. So I guess she just give me balance.
Are you guys homeowners?
Yeah, we've been blessed to own a home. We live the American dream. We've been fortunate to have a couple of houses in our life, in our little short lifetime here. It's not like buying your own, I'm going to tell you. Yeah. I mean, renting, yeah, it's nice. But when you purchase your own home and it's yours, that's a feeling unbelievable. That's something everyone desires and everyone should experience and everyone should have.
I agree. So we do own our home. We've been blessed. We actually were 28 years old when we bought our first home. We said we wanted to buy our home, and we didn't want to be old and have a huge payment. So we started young as homeowners, and we worked together to do that. We could have never done it by ourselves. So if we weren't the team we are, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So put our little pennies together and we did it, and now we own 2 homes, and I thank God for that. It's a blessing.